Everybody, welcome to the show tonight. I appreciate you being here. Peace to you. Respect. Late night show. I kind of like these late night shows on the weekend, or at least a Saturday. I have some things I want to talk to you about. Information that's it's been put out there. The Metcalf family has been talking a lot. You know, Jeff Metcalf is a racist. There's no doubt about that. We featured him on this channel with the racism, the watermelon felon statement that he made right here. I want to put this up. I want you to remember that this is a man who claimed that, well, I was on a gag order. And so we know that when you are a parent and you lose a child, you're going to go through a mourning period. You're going to be mourning your child. You're going to be sad. You're going to be upset. Nobody begrudges him of that. But I've never seen a person use racial epithets, racial slurs and stereotypes. And then you've got people, even black people, that will make excuses for the behavior that we have seen from this man. And now his wife or his ex-wife, you never really see them together. So it makes you wonder what's really going on. She's come out of the wash here, and she's been on Twitter, not Twitter, but the TikTok Spaces. Man, the TikTok Spaces are something else, y'all. I mean, they've got this whole different language over there. It's really a trip. If you get on a panel, you can get booted off of a panel if you don't give them enough roses or something. It's weird stuff, okay? But Jeff Metcalf, let me just let you all know something. I knew that Jeff Metcalf was racist because I actually had a chance to see him on a TikTok live when he was espousing the racial epithets. Now the mother is on TikTok in a TikTok space telling people, I want you guys, she gave them an assignment, y'all. I want you to go out there and debunk everything that people are saying about my sons, claiming that my sons were bullies. Okay? She wants it to be debunked because what's happening is that the internet and social media is undefeated. All the little dirt, all the little things that you're trying to hide will come out from the darkness into the light. And she admitted on a TikTok program, y'all. She admitted on TikTok that her sons can be very aggressive, rambunctious, can get themselves in a whole bunch of mess. And she admitted it. My camera will go into focus in just a moment. She admitted all of this on these TikTok video. I'm going to play some of that for you. And we're going to get into it. I appreciate you all here. I'm going to play the TikTok videos, but also Hunter Metcalf, who may just be the liar that we know he is. I'm going to play you the video from when he was interviewed by the media, and he said that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor. He was the one that came up on them. He was the one that started all the trouble. But then we find that in video, whether it be grainy video, whether it be the video that people said was 4K, that some people have sworn by that they've seen, I don't know what's going on. So let me play some of this first. Here's Karmelo Anthony and his mother. Here are, as you know, the Austin twins, and the rumor mill out there is that they were very aggressive, that prior to them jumping on Karmelo Anthony, there was rumors out there, there was information out there that they already were at another school or somewhere within that area where they were bullying or already messing with other people. I believe girls or a girl. They were messing with someone prior to walking to the track and going straight over there to the tent area where this whole thing took place. They have demonized Karmelo Anthony. The defense team, as I have told you all, failed to make him human. When he is human, they have failed to really bring enough character witnesses in this trial. So therefore, Karmelo Anthony was never seen as human in this trial. And his trial lawyer, his defense lawyer, failed him and failed him very, 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 very bad. Let me go ahead and play some other stuff here. We know that Karmelo Anthony said this to the police when he was taken into custody.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me.
This all happened at the track, Frisco, Texas. That is the actual bleachers where this took place. We saw the grainy video, and we got to be honest, that video is very suspect, at least the grainy version that we all were able to see. It was very suspect because of the fact that many people believe that the video was chopped up, that we got an edited version, not the full version. There was some versions where you could see Austin and his brother and other individuals walking in. They walked in there with a mission. Karmelo Anthony, by all accounts, was sitting under the tent because he also knew someone that was under that tent who I believe betrayed him. And I'm going to show you in this video, because there are photos that have come out that his friend Eddie definitely betrayed him. And then when you say to yourself, how did this whole thing happen? Why is it there were black people in that courtroom? I'm going to say that again to all the naysayers out there, all the critics, white or black or otherwise. How are you going to discount what people in the courtroom who were in the courtroom, black people in particular, men and women, who said that the courtroom was racial, that Judge Roach was not fair, that he made one rule for the black folks in the courtroom and another rule for the white folks, meaning they could do whatever they want. There were people who said that Jeff Metcalf was putting out baseball signals in the courtroom, that he was signaling, almost telling the witnesses on the stand what to do or what have you. And you're going to understand why this makes sense when I show you the photo that will be explained, because someone has said that there is something that does not make sense about this whole situation, ladies and gentlemen. I hope my camera is getting back in focus. There is something that doesn't make sense about this whole situation from start to finish that I want you guys to all recognize. Remember, I said in previous video, I want to move this right here, that the prosecuting lawyer, the prosecutor, which was Bill Whisker, the Toby Shook, who was the defense lawyer handling the case for Karmelo Anthony. Both these men had a law firm together. Leading prosecutor Eric William Trial received a national honor. Bill Whisker and Toby Shook received the Prestige Home Run Hitters Award in Chicago for putting more people away in prison. These guys should have, I'm going to say it again, they should have been told, another CG, everyone in the chat room, all of you that's here, they should have been told to step down. They should have never been assigned the case because there's a bias there because they both know each other and they were working together. At one point in time, had a law firm together, you see. And that's wrong. So everything you see here on these bleachers that took place was a shame. I'm not setting up here tonight to say that I endorse young men having knives and using them on other people in circumstances. But at the same time, we weren't in Karmelo Anthony's shoes. People are trying to make it seem like he just went up there ruthlessly and was bullying people when he was basically sitting down, bothering nobody. Nobody owned those bleachers. Nobody owned that tent. And even Austin or Hunter Metcalf, either one of them, even if they put the tent up, they didn't own it. That was school property. Why didn't they go and get a adult? Another question I want to bring forward that I've heard someone bring up that I think makes sense. You know, when this whole thing happened, you didn't see a lot of faculty, a lot of teachers or people around. So you could make an argument that the school was also liable for not having people out there that could watch and supervise these kids to make sure that no shenanigans happen. Austin had no business putting his hands on Karmelo Anthony, no more than Karmelo Anthony should have not stabbed him with a knife. You can make that argument both ways. You don't put your hands on anybody because you don't know what people are capable of doing. Let me put this up here, right now. Hang on right now. These twins are not as innocent as people are making them out to be because there were cheerleaders who exposed them. And we're going to go ahead and read what those cheerleaders had to say. Okay, here we go. This was written by cheerleaders who were cheerleaders for the football team that these young men, Austin and Hunter, played on. By the way, their football team was terrible. They hadn't won a game in over 3 years. Their mother even admitted that on the TikTok clips that I'm going to show you. And she even admitted that both of them, she said Hunter in particular, can be aggressive. She admitted that her sons can be aggressive and rambunctious and were very disrespectful towards the cheerleaders who basically had less confidence in them because their football team wasn't very good. Just want to let y'all keep that in mind. So this is what they wrote. This is the first part of what they wrote here. The other cheerleaders and I have tried to make an effort to stay supportive and spirited. So they wanted to be supportive and spirited throughout the football season. However, the disrespect we feel coming from some of the football players, talking about Hunter and Austin, is making it very difficult. Today, after our game against Liberty, some of us cheerleaders in uniforms went to Cane's. You know what Cane's is. It's a restaurant. While talking amongst ourselves about the loss, Hunter Metcalf, we know who Hunter Metcalf is because the mother even admitted that this boy was very aggressive and he was the one between him and Austin that would be the most likely according to the mother, I'm going by what the mother said. She knows these boys, that Hunter would be the one that would be the most aggressive or the most nastiest. And he's the one, which I'm going to show you tonight, lied and told the media one thing about what happened while saying another. There are people that believe that the reason why the mother denied it on TikTok, but there are people out there that believe, allegedly, that the reason why Hunter was not placed on the stand is because the defense team, which I don't think the defense team would have been smart enough to do this anyway, seeing how they ran the case, that they could have done cross-examination. They could have jammed him up about the inconsistencies between what he said to the media and then what he later on said when he was first encountered by the police and the staff in Frisco, Texas. What's going on, DOD? Good to have you here. Conflicting interests. Yes. Let me get back to this. I don't want to lose the point here. So the girls were in canes. The cheerleaders, this is more than one, y'all. The cheerleaders weren't happy about them losing games, and they were talking about it. And one of the Hunter Metcalf boys got upset about it. These are high school kids, obviously. And Hunter Metcalf stood up and yelled that my friend and fellow varsity cheerleaders is a fat B. You know the word. It's highlighted right there. A fat B. I don't understand what triggered his rage. And the mother in the TikTok video I'm going to play tonight admits that Hunter has more of a temper than even Austin. But both of these these boys were knuckleheads, because there was reports that they already had got into something prior to coming to the stadium and doing what they did to Karmelo Anthony. All right. And I'm going to play this again. Karmelo Anthony said this, remember?
I told him not to. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me.
I want to emphasize that because that's what Karmelo Anthony said. He was very adamant. And see, this is the thing. As black people in America, we know the cries of our kids. You could tell that he was in serious distress. Something seriously happened that the defense team in this trial did not do well to display. Now, one of the big mistakes, I'm gonna say this, everybody, and I know people may disagree with me. I do think it was a mistake not to have, as I think about it, not to have Karmelo Anthony on that stand. I do believe it was a big mistake, because at least we could have heard from him, from his perspective, what happened on those bleachers. We could have gotten his emotional tone. We could have gotten his voice. We could have heard his spirit, his energy. We could have heard it from the man who experienced it. But the problem is, when you don't have him speaking for himself in the court stands, then you don't make him human. Although you could have the defense team the prosecution could do a cross-examination and try to get him to say something inconsistent, I still think, as many legal experts have already expressed, that when you have a self-defense case, it's usually normal to have the defendant get on the stand and express to a courtroom exactly what he went through, how he was feeling, what happened from start to finish, to the middle, to the end, to the tutor, to the rooter. And we didn't get this, unfortunately, in this case. I think that could have made a difference, but then again, who knows, because it already seemed like things were stacked against Karmelo Anthony in this court. You see, everybody wants to make it out to be like Austin was this squeaky clean kid. Now, The lawyer, one of the defense team lawyers for Karmelo Anthony, was trying to get reports on the behavior, the school reports on everybody's record, including, because everybody kept talking about Karmelo Anthony's record, right? But nobody was talking about the record of this kid right here with his mama. Let's get back to this right here. So check this out. So he called Austin Hunter Metcalf, called her a fat B, one of the cheerleaders. They said, I don't understand what triggered his rage, and I talked about that, but to yell this unprovoked made us all really upset and was incredibly embarrassing for my friends as everyone in Canes looked at her. She said that he said this unprovoked. Let's go to the next part of this clip. This will build a foundation of where I'm going tonight. For my friend, this is the cheerleaders expressing what happened. For my friends, as everyone in Canes looked at her and started laughing, we see that Metcalf acted out of time and time again. So that's saying he acted out of time and time again. That means that Hunter Metcalf, him and his brother, they already had problems. That means they had a reputation, y'all. They had a reputation for being hotheads. And you know what? The tree don't fall, the apple don't fall far from the tree, because we already know that the father is a racist. And we heard all his rants. So if he was ranting like this, where do you think they learned some of this anger and some of these issues from? Because they wanted to make Karmelo Anthony out to be the black angry kid, because they never made him human. And the family of Karmelo Anthony, as you know, they already admitted to us that they went with the white lawyers because they were told that, hey, you're going to go with white lawyers because the white lawyers can appeal to this mainly white jury. So they admitted that they went with everything that everybody told them. And I'm saying, when you have a child, your son and daughter is up against being in prison for a good part of their life, if not all of their life, damn it, I'm getting involved. I'm not sitting back passively as a parent. But I know I'm not here to blame them. I'm here to say they were given bad advice. And now they know that they were given bad advice. Now they've got a really good all-star team of counselors. Now I want to make this this is a much important statement I want to make right here. People seem to think that it's going to be a new trial. They can't retrial the murder case. This will be a appeal. The most they can do is reduce Karmelo Anthony's sentence. And the best that they could do is, if they can find compelling evidence that we've been talking about, if they can find a conflict of interest, if they can find where the court's really screwed up, maybe, very slim chance, y'all, I got to be honest with you, it's just a small chance that he can walk out of prison. I doubt it, because I know how the system works. If anything, you want to see him get his sentence reduced from 35 years to maybe something lower, because I've already did a video showing you that there's other non-black kids who were 17 and 18 years old who committed crimes where they were arguing with someone, fighting with someone, and stabbed someone, and they didn't get anywhere like Karmelo Anthony. Casey Allison got 10 years. One kid got 30 days in jail for stabbing a kid with 10 years probation. One kid got 15 years. One kid got 12 years. On my channel, when you get a chance, look at the Karmelo Anthony video that I did where I said he was overcharged. You'll see the thumbnail where it says he was overcharged compared to other kids who were non-black. So you know that something is not right. And this was in Texas, not another state. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about, well, it's another state. No, in the state of Texas. Let's get back to this. We see that Metcalf acted out time and time again, but we trust that there is repercussions or some sort of consequence. So we stayed out of it. But for it now to be directed towards one of the people that show up to every game to support and cheer them on is extraordinary to me. After they left Canes, one of the other football players told us that Hunter said his hands were bisexual, meaning he's willing. You know what he meant by that? Hunter said that because he's basically saying by bisexual hands, the decoded meaning that he's willing to slap or hit a girl as much as he's willing to hit a boy. And y'all sitting up here telling me that they just walked in there and were just nicey with someone like brother Karmelo Anthony, that they were just nicey with Karmelo Anthony. No, they weren't nicey with Karmelo Anthony. You're seeing the character of these kids based on the fellow students that have witnessed some of their funkiness. One of the other football players told us that Hunter said his hands were bisexual, implying that he would not only hit guys, but also girls. She is not only embarrassed, but generally scared, especially after seeing the way he can act on the field. I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware that he is acting like this in public places, just like they acted up in public places against Karmelo Anthony, which is not good for our school representation. And it is discouraging us to keep cheering them on. I'm sorry for having to even come to you about this, but after tonight, it is truly feels like it's getting out of hand. Recognizing that he may be upset that we lost, but there is no justification for the way he treated my friends tonight. I would also appreciate for my name to stay confidential, as I feel what they would do if they knew. What? Did you hear what she just said? If Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf knew that she had made these statements, she feared what they would do. So they had a reputation, y'all. They weren't these angels, because certainly nobody is trying to make within that community. They didn't see Karmelo Anthony as an angel. They saw him as a monster. They humanized the Metcalf twins, but they didn't humanize him and his family. Y'all sat up here and ragged on the family and said that they was cheating. They were cheating the PayPal or the one of these websites where you can raise money. They never had a PayPal, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they had a PayPal. They had a Gifts and Go. And the CEO of Gifts and Go already came out and verified that everything was on the up and up with their account. People said, oh, they bought a new house, when the house that they were in, they were renting. They had to move because they were getting death threats. You guys believe what Jeff Metcalf, the racist, said? The racist Jeff Metcalf said that he was getting death threats. So if we are to believe this racist right here, why won't you believe the family of Karmelo Anthony? Why won't we believe them when they say they went under trials and tribulations? Let me let you hear the first video of the mother. This is where the mother is literally telling people in the TikTok spaces, I want y'all to go out and debunk everybody that's saying that my boys are aggressive. But then she turns around in the other video I'm going to show you and admits that they can be aggressive. But she's telling people in the TikTok space where she was at, yeah, I want y'all to stop them. Stop these people. They're lying on my boys. But then she admits that her boys can be aggressive. Wait till you hear this tonight. Wait till you hear it, till the tutor to the rooter.
Video, and I guess one of you said that you I will Thursday morning. So there's another gentleman apparently that has posted that he watched it. He said that Karmelo was getting chased and all that. And I don't know if that's something that you guys know how to debunk those things, because we all know that that's true. Don't you worry, sweetheart. I am on it. His name is Dwayne, and I am.
Can everybody hear this? Is the pitch too loud or not loud enough? Let me know by putting sevens in the chat room if you can hear the pitch that's being played. I'm going to hit this again so you can hear it again. But let me know by putting sevens in the chat room when I hit this if you can hear it.
Listen and hear these people talk and just go, I'm amazed. But
now, there it is right here. Megan, her name is Meghan Metcalf. When you look at the picture next to me, she's the avatar that's in red. Right over to your left side in red. Concentrate on that part of the avatar because that's her speaking on the TikTok spaces. Let's let it play. I'm not going to interrupt them. Let it play.
Listen and hear these people talk and just go, I'm amazed. But on a different note, I wanted to say I heard you guys talking about the video, and I guess one of you said that you I will Thursday morning. So there's another gentleman apparently that has posted that he watched it. He said that Karmelo was getting chased and all that. And I don't know if that's something that you guys know how to debunk those things, because we all know that that's true. Don't you worry, sweetheart. I am on it. His name is Dwayne, and I am. Don't worry.
So she says, don't worry to Austin, the Metcalf, Hunter Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's mother, as she's naming someone that they want to debunk, but they're basically sending these people out to debunk. That's why we're getting these trolls in our chat rooms, and we're getting these trolls that are leaving messages, nasty messages in our comment sections, because she's sending out her army of people to stop us from speaking the truth and to stop us from analyzing the inconsistencies of what happened in this case, and to stop us from exposing some things that are not being brought to light or were not brought to light in that courtroom. Let me continue this. All right, let me let you hear this one. This one will be a lot more clear. You will clearly hear her as she contradicts herself. We got to be honest. She contradicts herself when she talks about her boys and how they do have an edge to them, but then turns around and says she wants people to debunk people calling them out, but then admits on this that they do have an attitude about themselves. Watch.
He was just in one of those moods. But after the game was over, him and Hunter and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat.
Let me move this back. She's addressing the cheerleaders exposing her boys. Okay? But she contradicts herself. Listen.
A cheerleader email. We kind of talked to Brandon about it a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail.
Brandon, that you see up top, the white guy you see up top, he's the actual football coach for the memorial for their football team that hasn't won a game in 3 years.
Because of his, and he just said like kids were disciplined, and that's
yeah. So the incident was that we had played Frisco Liberty that night and lost, and we should have beat them because they hadn't won a game in like 3 years.
Hear that?
So
I say that they haven't won. Everybody in the chat room, DOD, Alicia, all of you that are here, I want to say thank you, Afro Punk Chick, everyone that's here. Thank you for your support. I want to give you a clap. Thank you for your support. Thank you for rocking with me. I really appreciate that.
You know, the whole football team was frustrated and upset, and Austin and Hunter were physically upset even at the game. Like they got in trouble from the coaches because like Austin threw his helmet. Hunter was the one that who's kind of more of like he would get more upset about things. He went back out on the field and finished the game. Austin was like, I'm done. He was just, there was only like 2 minutes left and he was just pissed. He was just in one of those moods. But after the game was over, him and Hunter and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cheerleaders, I loved the girls. I wasn't a fan of the coach because as a coach myself, I was a volleyball coach for a long time. You want to encourage your kids to encourage the other teams and all those kind of things. And I felt like our cheerleaders just were like,
T. Diddy is a cheer coach. She's a cheer coach.
What's the point?
Yeah.
They were just like, what's the point? This is, our team's trash, this kind of thing. And the girls apparently were talking about the game and making comments about how crappy our team was. And Hunter, more than likely said something nasty to one of them because that's how he approaches things. And Austin.
Boom. Did you hear what she just said, everybody? I want y'all to take heed to what this woman is saying. She's admitting that that's the way her son operates. He didn't like what the girl said, and she admits that her son would be the one that would be aggressive. She's admitting that the other brother, Hunter, is aggressive. They're both aggressive because there were rumors, there were people out there that said that they had a reputation within this community. They had a reputation within high school. So this whole idea that they were some innocent guys who just went to that track meet and they just saw this black kid, Karmelo Anthony, sitting there because he was a troublemaker and they had to get rid of him. Not true. Even in that grainy footage, even in the footage that people said they've seen, everyone said that Karmelo Anthony was just sitting there. And as I had played for you before, Karmelo Anthony was very upset, very, very upset.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. He put his hands on me.
Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to this right now.
Just when everyone was like, man, I don't understand why you guys got to be like that. Like we're upset that we lost and this is how you're not even going to support us. So there was not like a physical altercation. It was more of verbal of like, you guys are assholes for not, you're supposed to be First School Memorial supporters and you're acting like we're shit. Mm-hmm. And you're cheerleaders on top of that. So fast forward to the email that was sent. From what I understand, the coach had talked to Austin and Hunter about just what happened on the field the night before. And then the coach had sent the email, and Coach Jackson, who was our head football coach, actually told them, if you have a problem, you need to go to the police because it was off campus. And there was nothing he's going to do because it was off campus. So nothing came of it other than, yes, there was a talking to. And again,
I want y'all to see how the mother is minimizing the behavior of her child. When black youth, because remember when this whole thing broke out, y'all on the social media streets, not y'all in the chat room, people in the social media streets were saying that Karmelo Anthony was a hood rat. He had no father. He's a baby. He has a mother who's a baby mama, that he had a criminal record. They said that he got kicked out of school for having a knife before, which that turned out to be a lie, not true. This is a young man who had a 3-point high grade point average. I think they said Jackson State and a few historical black colleges were looking to recruit him. He was a pretty good athlete, both in football and track and field, worked at Foot Locker, held a job, never had a history of criminal activity. You have the raccoons like Jason Woodlock, who had the nerve on one of his shows to have the audacity to say that, oh, maybe Karmelo Anthony did this because he was doing a gang initiation. The kid has no gang affiliation whatsoever. Then Jason Whitlock, the Buffalo butt that he is, had the nerve to say, oh, this is part of black culture. This is the problem. These self-hating Negroes on the social media that say these sort of things, right? But yet nobody wants, but then when you bring up the background of these Metcalf twins who have a history of aggressive behavior towards other young people from their school or in their area that people are talking about. Now people want to dismiss it. People want to dismiss what the cheerleaders are saying. And then there was information put out there that these guys, Austin and his brother and the other hoodlums that came in there with him, that they had already got into something prior to getting there. They walked in with a purpose to do something. They walked in that place with a purpose. Now, I know the family says that Karmelo Anthony never had any sort of friendship or relation to these Metcalf boys. But there are people that believe that there might have been some kind of something going on. There's people who have theories about, well, Karmelo Anthony was in a relationship with a girl, that somebody might have been jealous about him being with that girl. There's a whole bunch of rumors. I can't confirm it all. But there's something to this that doesn't make sense, because when they walked into the stadium, they walked in with authority, like they already knew he was going to be there, and that they knew he was sitting there, and then boom, they were going to go on after him. Let me get back to this.
And I go back to the original fact. Austin would never disrespect a girl per se. Hunter, he could have some choice words for someone who was going to be disrespecting him.
You see how the mother tries to clean it up, that he would not harm a girl when it was already stated by the cheerleaders that it was said that he was bisexual armed, meaning he would slap or he would hit a boy just as much as he would hit a girl. The mother tries to clean it up and make it seem like, oh, it's just some chitter chatter. He would never really hurt a girl. He does have some choice words if someone disrespects him, not really addressing the fact that, wait a minute, but your son may have been the one who was really disrespectful, because the cheerleader said that he yelled at them at Canes unprovoked. But, when you're white, I guess you're right. Nobody believes you. If you're black, get the hell out, get away. We don't believe you. If you're white, it's Donald Trump's America. Whatever you say, make America great again. Right. That's the kind of world that we live in right now and have for a long time. Let's go.
I'm just going to be completely frank. That's just how he is. They were identical twins, but they were two completely different type of children. But the end result, nothing happened in that regard. And then I actually asked someone here recently, how it got leaked or whatever, the email.
You see how she's once again minimizing the aggressive behavior of her son or sons by saying nothing came of it. You say that nothing came of what your sons did, or what one of your sons did in this instance, when in fact the cheerleaders, they weren't very comfortable with it. They felt very frightened, and even admitted at the bottom of this email that they put out, or this note that they put together, she says here, stay confidential, as I fear what they would do if they knew. So they knew something about these boys, and particularly Hunter, that maybe the mother is just being in denial of. Why am I saying this? Because I know someone's going to say, well, he said he did it, man. He said he did it, and the courtrooms found him guilty. What I'm saying is everybody keeps trying to make Karmelo Anthony out to be the aggressor in the situation that took place in Frisco, Texas, at that Memorial Stadium. The fact of the matter is, our position is that he was sitting down, minding his own business. They came to him aggressively. And the reason why we're putting this out there is because it shows a premise of their aggressive behavior. It shows a premise of their ratchet behavior. It shows that they have it in them to approach people nasty and put hands on people potentially, because Hunter said he had no problem hitting boys or girls. And that they had it's not just Hunter, but Austin, they had a reputation, y'all. That's why we're doing these videos. That's why we're putting this out there, to show you there's something fishy about this whole situation.
Had gotten out to all these people or whatever, and someone had mentioned more than likely it was a mom that was just pissed off and just decided she was just gonna do whatever to hurt my kids more.
You see what she's doing here, everybody? She wants to say that it was an upset mother. What about the fact that the cheerleader was upset, probably went home and told the mother and decided to write it? She wants to blame it and say, oh, the mother put her up to it. See, my sons can't be this bad. My son Hunter, he's an angel. When you just submitted that he's a hothead, that he has a short temper, should I say. But then at the same time trying to say, well, it was the mother. The mother has a grudge. How do you know that? How do you know that?
Confidential
because she felt disrespected, because maybe it was her daughter that felt disrespected. Wow. So she felt disrespected and wanted to.
Or she saw the name Metcalf in the news and she wanted some clout. There's that.
Bullshit. They're trying to say that the mother says she wanted to be confident. No. It clearly says at the bottom of this, highlighted, stay confidential as I fear what they would do if they knew. They wanted to be confidential because they feared the potential of what her boys are capable of doing and would do potentially. That's what's getting lost here, y'all. Let's go.
Right.
So it wasn't even the cheerleader, it was the mom?
They're speculating right now.
Mom that sent the email. I think
you don't know. So why are you even speculating that? They keep focusing on the mother of this child. How about you talk to your son and tell them, y'all got to do better with y'all behavior? Because if this was certainly Karmelo Anthony that had this history where people saying that Karmelo Anthony did this and did that, all of these people that's hating on us having a different perspective about this whole situation, you guys would be saying, see, Karmelo Anthony was a thug in the community. See, he was bullying the cheerleaders. See, he was threatening the cheerleaders. See, he said his hand was bisexual, meaning he's willing to put his hands on girls or boys. Y'all know if a report came out like this about Karmelo Anthony, you'll be all over it. Just like you were when they lied and said that he brought a knife to school before, or that he was kicked out of school. That report was a lie.
it was a mom that leaked it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe the mom and the cheerleader wrote it together, and then
Definitely.
You see, people are criticizing us and saying that we as content creators on YouTube and social media, that we are making assumptions, right? But here is Austin and Hunter Metcalf's mother, Meghan Metcalf. She's setting up here speculating and saying, well, maybe the mother did this, maybe the mother did that. They keep saying that everybody is speculating about her sons and what happened in this situation with her sons and Karmelo Anthony, that y'all got to stay to the facts. And she's setting up here on a TikTok, making up all type of assumptions about why the cheerleader or cheerleaders wrote this.
that's
Cool.
Why is that even a
Because-
big deal though? Like that's
Because they're trying to paint them out as bullies, and they weren't.
They are bullies.
But they're trying to. I mean,
That's a bully behavior that your son behaved in, and you already admitted that he's a hothead, that or that you admitted that he has a very short temper.
Frustrated during football it's normal. Like I don't
It's
get
normal.
why that's a big deal. Like we haven't been frustrated during sports during high school.
It's normal.
Well, and I can
mean,
tell
if
you this,
imagine,
Megan and Bay
Go
Boy,
ahead.
as a cheer coach, my girls would have been in more trouble because you're supposed to support your team no matter what.
Okay. You see what's sick about this? So these white folks are setting up here on this TikTok saying that no matter what, you're supposed to support your team. The cheerleader is saying that they have been supporting the team. Look at this again. This is crazy. They say this: we show up to every game to support and cheer them on. It's extraordinary. It's stunning to me. It's extraordinary to me after they left Canes. One of the other football players told us that Hunter said his hands were bisexual, implying that he would not only hit guys, but hit girls. In these notes, that the letter that they wrote, they mentioned that they have been supporting the team. They setting up here talking about, well, they're supposed to support their team. If any of these guys are being rude towards the cheerleaders, being sexist, being aggressive, and then they sit up there and report and write what they experience with one of these football players, what do you mean they're supposed to just ignore that and just go ahead and be cheery, cheery, cheery? You see how they're implicit in shielding and protecting the image of these Metcalf boys. But you know damn well if this was Karmelo Anthony and his family, the black family, everybody would be demonizing him if he had this on his record. Prior to this situation with him stabbing Austin, you already had people demonizing his family, demonizing his character before he even had this trial. I want y'all to really think about what I'm saying here. Let's continue.
How I felt.
Keep in mind,
That's
if that
kinda
was
how I
the
felt.
worst thing that the boys ever did, the worst thing, they're really going to focus on that.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's really laughable. But the ops have a great time with it, right? Because what else do they have on your?
You see right there, they say it's the worst thing that they've ever done. They're not addressing that what they did was wrong, disrespectful, but it's the worst thing. Please. These kids had a reputation. See how they're trying to minimize this whole thing? It's crazy, y'all. I'm going to cut out of that because that's about as much as you're going to get from that. Now, let me put this this whole situation. I wish it never happened. It was terrible that it happened. Thank you for coming in and supporting this show tonight. I want to clap you all up tonight. I'll pull up some of your statements that you say tonight as we get close to conclusion, but don't go nowhere because I'm going to show you something that's going to be very explosive. Now, this whole thing was terrible. I wish it would have never happened. You know, I don't endorse, you know, people fighting and knives being used. I wish it never had happened. Well, we can't take back what had happened. We can only look at what happened and say, wonder why this took place. Why did he not get the best defense possible? Why did some of the kids that witnessed what happened, that knew Karmelo Anthony or knew of him, why did they change their stories as people in the courtroom, black folks that were in there observing the case said that stories were being changed, that Karmelo Anthony's friend Eddie or someone who he knew that was under the tent that he was sitting there with that sort of invited him there, turned around and act like he didn't know Karmelo Anthony when Karmelo Anthony he tried to deny that he even knew Karmelo Anthony. And let me tell you to connect. Now you're going to say to yourself, oh man, they testified against Karmelo Anthony and they expressed what happened. And that's why you can't deny that. For those of you out there who are saying that. You make a very good point that, yes, there were many people on the prosecution side that testified and said Carmelo Anthony did this and did that. We also know that this is a tight-knit community. These kids have to live in this community. These kids are under the conformity of being in school. These kids don't want to be a pariah if they go the other way. They want to be accepted because it's a peer group. And let me show you the photo. What I did, because the photo is a real photo, I actually digitally enhanced it so that you can see it even more clear than was the original photo. But it is what you're going to see. I was wondering, wow, all those kids testified, changed their stories or testified against Carmelo Anthony and told a story that made Carmelo Anthony look really bad. At least that's what they told us. Then I'm wondering, damn, you got the relationship between Toby Shook and Bill Whisker, who was the defensive lawyer. I'm going to put this back up here again. I'm getting ready to, I'm about to slow bake this for you. You got the you got the prosecutor, Bill Whisker, and the defense lawyer for Carmelo Anthony, Toby Shook, who both had a law firm together. Both were buddy, should have been told to step down from this. What we're finding out is that a lot of these people involved in this situation were buddy with each other, which is why Watermelon Man, racist Watermelon Man himself, Jeff Metcalf, that's why he was able to go in court and put out those baseball signals. And y'all know what I mean, because there was a relationship that people don't want to deal with. Remember, Jeff Metcalf was friends with someone that's a friend of the judge, Roach. That in itself should have made Roach, as the judge, step down, because he knew someone that knows Jeff Metcalf that he's friends with. That's a problem right there. That's a strike. That's a strike right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a strike right there, DOD. Patty's Kitchen. Make sure y'all check out that sister's channel. Beautiful food she makes over there. Afro punk chick. Son, I thank you for being here. Jay the Informant, I see you in the house tonight. A lot of great people here tonight. Let me pull this off. There were so many relationships. Wait until I show you what I'm about to show you. When I show you this, it's going to actually blow the walls off. Austin Metcalf, or Hunter Metcalf, is a problem. Let me let you see this video of this sister breaking some things down here. Check this out. Because Hunter lied, y'all, to the media as I started this show off earlier tonight. He lied. Check this out.
Carmelo's new defense team is on their job, baby. Because now the full clip and clear footage of what happened in those stands is out. And Hunter, you told a little fib, didn't you? Turns out Hunter is the one that walked right up to Carmelo Anthony. But directly after...
Boom. What's my premise tonight? The mother has already admitted that out of the two boys, he's the aggressor, Hunter. And that out of the two boys, he's most likely to be the one that was nasty, that would have some words to say. The sister here said that it was Hunter who originally walked up to Carmelo Anthony, not Austin. Although they both walked up to him, it was Hunter who approached them first because Hunter was more the aggressor. He lied and said that Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor. The mother, as I have played tonight and gave you the damn receipts, said that her son was rambunctious. The cheerleader said that she was had fear of him, didn't want him to know who she was, keep it confidential. The mother, you see right here, claimed that he's a little bit of a hothead, but you saw how they minimized it. And the sister right here says, no, it was Hunter who first approached. Let y'all hear this again.
Karmelo's new defense team is on their job, baby. Because now the full clip and clear footage of what happened in those stands is out. And Hunter, you told a little fib, didn't you? Turns out, Hunter is the one that walked right up to Karmelo Anthony. But directly after the incident happened, Hunter went on the news and he said that they sat down and Karmelo was yelling things at them.
Right.
That never happened.
It never happened.
We know it didn't happen because we have video footage that it never happened. We have video footage of Hunter walking directly up to Karmelo, not Austin, which completely contradicts what Hunter said on the news. This is why they never called Hunter to the stand. And that defense lawyer screwed over Karmelo Anthony.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me play for you tonight, of all nights, the actual video that she's talking about in question, where you're going to hear Hunter lie and say that it was Karmelo Anthony that was the aggressor when he was the one that initiated it before Austin, who definitely did get stabbed. But why this is important, because the mother has already admitted to you tonight in audio and video that she, out of the two of them, he is the one that is the aggressor, the most aggressive out of the two of them. And he already said he'll hit women, he'll hit girls, boys, it doesn't matter. Do y'all remember this?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless.
See?
And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my...
He lied. He said that that Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor, but then you find out that no, it was Hunter that was aggressive first, and it wasn't Karmelo Anthony that was in the tent mouthing off as they've been lying about him. Continue.
And I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. No, yeah. Just that's just what I saw. I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that.
You see, you could tell he's a liar. You know why? I want you to look at his eyes, how his eyes are moving. They have studies on this, how you can tell when people are lying. It's all in the eyes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. When people are moving their eyes in certain directions, that's because they're working on their creative side of their brain, because to create a lie, you have to be working in the creative side of your brain to come up with a story. I'm going to play this back. I don't know how many people on YouTube have picked up on this or brought this up. You know, I work in psychology, and you can tell by eye movement when people are lying, just like those of you who have kids, right? How many of y'all have kids in the chat room? You can tell when your child is lying because it'll start with their body language, their eyes. They won't look you in the eye, or they've got their eye looking in a certain direction. Check this out. Check out his eyes, how his eyes move.
That's just what I saw. I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that.
Look how he's looking that way.
Just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time. And
you may think I'm crazy for bringing this up, but this is a fact. body language and the way people look or don't look in certain directions or don't look you straight in the eye when you're talking to them about something and their eyes are dancing all over the place. They don't look straight at people talking to them. Those are dead signs of someone who's got something to hide.
He did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. Strong.
Let me move this back because the sister said right here, let me play this.
In those stands is out. And Hunter, you told a little fib, didn't you? Turns out Hunter is the one that walked right up to Karmelo Anthony. But directly after the incident happened, Hunter went on the news and he said that they sat down and Karmelo was yelling things at them.
Right.
That never.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I try to whip around.
Right there. That's another issue that people have been talking about on these social media streets. Why was Austin grabbing his backpack? You not only assaulted him by putting your hands on Karmelo Anthony, but now you also put your hands on his property, his personal property. You see there? See, the lie is all, the truth is, there's the truth and there's the lie. And these kids got on they got on news and said a whole bunch of reckless stuff that come out to not to be true. And right there, Hunter admitted, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen, that they grabbed, or his brother Austin grabbed Karmelo Anthony's backpack. So you not only put your hands on him, but you also put your hands on his property. So one, they had, let me just explain this. Very simple. This is very simple. One, he had no authority to tell anybody anything because he wasn't the police. He wasn't a judge. He wasn't a supervisor of the track. He wasn't an adult. He wasn't a coach. He wasn't a teacher. He had no authority to tell Karmelo Anthony to leave when Karmelo Anthony was invited by someone that he already knew. Uh-oh. The person that told him he could sit there with him, Eddie, guess what? The Austin twins already knew Eddie, who was the one that knew Karmelo Anthony and told Karmelo Anthony to come on underneath the tent because it was raining. Everybody keeps trying to get away from the fact that there's some relations here. These people know each other. Now, I'm not saying that Karmelo Anthony knew the Metcalf boys outright, but Eddie, who knew Karmelo Anthony, because Karmelo Anthony and him, there's pictures. There's documented pictures of him and Eddie together, even though Eddie tried to say he didn't know Karmelo Anthony like that and ended up testifying against him. But y'all know that boy had a relationship with the Austin. I think he had a relationship with Austin, y'all. And he said, my brother took his bag. You had no business taking a bag. You had no business putting your hands on someone. You had no business acting like you were the police. You were the judge and jury putting your hands on him. You had no business telling him to leave. You should have went to teachers and had them removed. Now, this is what some people are saying. Well, the teachers already told them to go over there and remove Karmelo Anthony. Okay. If they went over there and told Karmelo Anthony to leave and Karmelo Anthony didn't reply, then who told them that it was their jurisdiction and they had the right to put hands on his property, put hands on him? Why didn't they go back over to the teachers and the coaches or a coach and say, look, I went over there and told this kid to move. He did not want to move. Coach, can you go over there and talk to him or call some security or whatever? Why didn't they do that? Because they had no authority to take his property. You just heard Hunter say out of his own mouth that they took right here.
Our tent at track, we asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless.
Which is a lie.
And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack.
Oh! Austin grabbed his backpack, so that's a violation. You grab his backpack. You took his property. You had no business doing that. You put hands on him. You had no business doing that. You took matters into your own hands. You had no business doing that. Even if the coach sent him over there and Carmelo Anthony didn't comply, he should have went back to the authority like a coach and teacher and said he won't leave. Then the coach could have went over there and talked to him, and if he still didn't leave, then what? You can call the security. Where was the security in this stadium and have them remove him? You see how that works, everybody? You see how that works? If you get where I'm coming from, put 7s in the chat room. You see how that works? And like I said, there was a relationship. I'm about to break that relationship down to you right now. Check this out. Hunter, man, I tell you.
I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my...
Once again, these two guys should have been asked to step down from the whole situation. They should have never been a part of it. Now, let me put this up for you. This is very important right here, what I'm about to show you. This sister right here, Jeanette, she wrote this. This is going to blow you away. The truth is hard to ignore. And sometimes a single photo says more than 1,000 words ever could. I'm about to show y'all the photo. Remember I told you there was a relationship between the guy Eddie, who people said was friends with Carmelo Anthony, has photos with him, and then he turned around, went into court and went against Carmelo Anthony, lied and said he didn't know Carmelo Anthony when there was photos, and come to find out he had a relationship with the Austin boys, with the Metcalf boys. I believe Austin. Either Austin or Hunter, but he had a relationship with one or the other or both. Now, a picture is more than 1,000 words. Y'all about to see that picture in a minute from me. Many of the same witnesses called by the prosecution were friends of both Austin and Hunter. That's Eddie. In this photo, Eddie is, check this out. I'm going to put this photo up for y'all right now. Here we go. I want y'all to look at the arrow as I read this to you. The arrow, this is the photo. These, I think they're all on this. This is the photo. They're in a pool where you see the arrow. That's one of the Metcalf. I think it's Austin. He's got his arm where it has the arrow. That's Austin. He's got his hands around Eddie. They were friends. He's pointing his finger at him. That's the photo. I enhanced it a little bit more to make it more clear, but it's him. Hair is wet. They're in a pool. Let me continue reading the description of this. Many of the same witnesses called by the prosecution were friends of both Austin and Hunter. In this photo, Eddie is standing right next to Hunter. Okay, it's Hunter. It's not, let me correct something. Where the arrow is at, that's Hunter, not Austin. But he knew of these folks because he's in the pool kicking it with them, okay? Next to Hunter, that's where the arrow is, next to Hunter in the pool. Hunter's got his arms around him. Or he's right next to him. alongside several other individuals who later testified. So you got individuals in this pool, because they said there were black kids too. They kept telling you, oh, this isn't racism because you even had black people that testified them. Well, then they're a clan here, y'all. They're friends. They have relationship with each other. So they couldn't go in that court and say certain things because why? We know that young people are impressionable. They want to be accepted by their peer group. Put sevens in the chat room if you're getting where I'm coming from. We're dealing with kids here. Young people want to be accepted by their peer group. We know this. So they all knew each other and they all knew the Hunter boys. So that also gave them incentive not to want to go against the Hunter boys because they was partying with the Hunter boys. They was kicking it with the Hunter boys. As you see them in the pool right now with one of the Hunter boys. They was friends. They was boys. Austin Hunter, in this photo, Eddie is standing right next to Hunter, along with several other individuals who later testified that raised a fair question. If these individuals were all part of the same friend group, would they naturally be viewed as completely unbiased? No, it can't be unbiased. It's reasonable to recognize the possibility of bias when close friendships exist. Some of these present. This is crazy, y'all. Put sevens in the chat room. Are you hearing what I'm telling y'all? It's reasonable to recognize the possibility of bias when close friendships exist. Some of these present were also reported involved in or witnessed the event leading up to the fight. Hypothetically speaking, if multiple people shared a common perspective, it would not be surprising for their vision of events to align in a way that places responsibility on one person. Right? That in this case, that would be Karmelo Anthony. You see how that works, everybody? Do you see how that works? Here they all kicking it in the pool. And they were testifying in this case. You can't tell me that this case wasn't biased. This shoots through all the bullshit of people saying, oh, they all testify. Yes, they did. But you're dealing with high school kids. They have a friendship. They have a kingship with each other. They want to be accepted in the community. They're young. They are impressionable by the people that they hang out with, by their peer group. Therefore, they don't want to go against the peer group and rock the boat. Continuing with more of what the sister is breaking down here. Okay? It's multiple people sharing a common perspective would not be surprising for the vision of events to align in a way that places responsibility on one's person rather than the potential exposing their own actions or involvement. Even the defense admitted to the bias in his closing statements, where he failed was objecting to the contradicting story and obviously lies that were being told. Whether that happened here is ultimately for investigator attorneys in the courts to determine, but the relationship between the witnesses are relevant factors that many people believe should be carefully considered when evaluating the credibility and weight of their testimonies. Is the sister making sense, y'all, or is she making sense, y'all? Is she making sense? Is Sister Jeanette making sense? Watch how people make their post about race and other irrelevant stuff when I'm simply pointing out the fact that their testimony could be biased, especially considering the fact that Jeff Metcalf, the little racist himself right here, all right, especially considering the fact that Jeff Metcalf was seen by multiple people inside the courtroom influencing their answers. Karmelo never received a fair trial. What did I tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen? I want y'all to look at that picture one more time. That's why I've been leaving it up. Did not tell you that he was in the courtroom and there were black folks that got a chance to go in the courtroom and said that Jeff Metcalf was putting out baseball signals. Are you with me tonight? Or am I cooking with grease? Am I frying the catfish tonight? Am I frying the red snapper fish with hot sauce tonight? Let me know. Look at the picture again. Multiple people inside the courtroom. Multiple people in the courtroom influenced their answers. So he was influencing people's answers because he was giving signals. Now check this out, y'all. If these kids that you see in the pool were testifying in this court case against Karmelo Anthony, they already had a friendship that they didn't have with Karmelo Anthony. And if if Jeff Metcalf was giving baseball signals, that's because he knew some of these kids because of their relationship with his sons or one of his sons, if not both of his sons. And if he had a relationship with these kids through his sons, that means that they've been at his house. You see how it's all biased, y'all? That means that they've been to his house. That means that he's talked to some of these kids that you see in this pool. They knew Jeff Metcalf, which is why he was able to get away with baseball signals right in front of the Judge Roach, who never stopped the shenanigans. As black folks that were in court said that they saw the kids laughing and giggling like this. And if that's the case, no wonder he could give them baseball signals to answer a certain way, and the judge never stopped it, because all he probably had to do was give a little body language. Because why? Again, he knew these kids. That's why this went against Karmelo Anthony. It was cooked from the very beginning, because these kids who testified against him had a relationship with the Hunter boys, felt some kind of way because they didn't have a relationship with Karmelo Anthony. And they got to live in this community where they don't want to be seen as a pariah for going against the clan that you see in the pool. So therefore, it made it a natural decision to go against Karmelo Anthony, no matter what, because of the relationship with these boys. Do y'all see what I'm saying, everybody? Are you picking up on what Information Man is saying tonight? Are you picking up on what's being said tonight? This late night program. Please let me know that anything I said made any sense to y'all. Let me know. I'm going to look at your comments, look at what you had to say. Let me play this for a reminder to you. You got this picture here with them in the pool. Let me play this reminder for you all. this man made racist statements. Here's Karmelo Anthony.
It's on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff there.
Yeah, they were like a little gang. You right.
Already? No. We searched them. You got nothing on them.
4.3. Trackers have negative CPR progress for a little bit.
Racing.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing.
Racing.
Peace to everybody in the chat room. I appreciate you being here.
Up to you. It's up to you.
But I need to know if y'all feeling where I'm coming from tonight.
Come behind for reaching your pockets, anything like that. You good?
I'm wearing some little underwear. Like, no, ma'am, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
4:30, show me out.
Okay.
Racing.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay? Yes, all right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay?
Yes,
all right.
402, I'm on scene.
So your first name is Karmelo?
Yes, sir.
Racing.
Karmelo.
Let's see, hold on one second.
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A. K-A-R.
M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O, Carmelo. What's your last name? A-N-T-H. O-N-Y. We're ready, when?
I'm gonna talk to him.
Tell it. Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
This whole thing is really crazy. I'm trying to take it all in, just like you guys are taking it all in. The world connected. What's going on? Yeah, Hatchet Dragon. The world connected. It's crazy. DOD is saying smash. Yeah, smash the likes. Share this video on all your social media. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We've got Karmelo Anthony, innocent self-defense against racial bullying regardless of silly pool pick. Right, but the pool pic shows you that there was a relationship. That's the point, that these kids that testify had a relationship with the Hunter boys, which mean they probably knew of Jeff Metcalf, the father, which is why he was getting away with baseball signals to these kids in the damn courtroom, because people that were in that courtroom, black people in particular, said that's what they witnessed. I'm going to believe them before I believe anybody else on social media that says otherwise. No, I'm going to believe what the people said that were in that court. And that matches up with the statement that sister Jeanette wrote about how things were funny style. We got DOD in the house who says, smash the likes, share the videos. We appreciate you over here. Let me see here. I hope Karmelo new legal team subpoena everyone in that pool. Yeah, I think everybody needs to be brought back to court. Like I said, the most that they could hope for is maybe for him to get a reduced sentence. They're not going to retrial. I don't know if they can get a retrial on the whole murder case, but it depends on what I would say this. Maybe it's going to depend on how much evidence can they prove that Karmelo Anthony got a terrible defense, and that certain evidence was not brought into question. One, like I said before, both the prosecutor and defense lawyers should have been asked to excuse themselves. The judge, Roach, should have been asked to excuse himself because it was put out there that he has a relationship with someone who actually knows, who's good friends with Jeff Metcalf. You have all these kids that knew each other that were in a pool kicking it with one of the Hunter boys. The defense team failed to put Karmelo Anthony on the stand and let him express what happened to him. We have not heard from his mouth other than what we know right here.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
I would have liked to hear him to go more in depth and more in detail about what they did to him. That's where I think the defense team really failed the young brother. Let's go back in there for some more statements here. There was a clear conflict of interest. Yes, clear conflict of interest. They don't retry the. Yeah, I've already said that they don't retry the case, but they can find flaws in that case that could potentially get his sentence reduced. Okay. Now I've already said that in the beginning of this program. So you're not saying anything new that I didn't already say, but thank you for your comment. But I've been saying that throughout this whole program. Afro Punk Chick says, okay, well, since I can't communicate freely and going gone, thank you so much for all your work. No, you can communicate. What's wrong, Afro Punk? I'm sorry. You can communicate. I'm reading your statements. I always appreciate your education. Thank you. But Afro Punk Chick, I don't want you to think you can't communicate freely. You can say what's on your mind. Look. Even if this is the thing. I don't care if people have a difference of opinion. I'm sure there's people who follow this channel who feel that Karmelo Anthony is completely guilty. They don't care about the other scenarios that we've been bringing up. Look, if anyone feels different, I don't have a problem with that. You know, I just think that there's still something fishy. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, but not their own facts. And I don't want to echo chamber over here. I mean, certainly there's people that are going to have a different opinion than me that follow my channel, and I'm not going to hate on them. No, and I'm not going to rag on them. I only get mad at people in the chat room if they say stupid stuff, if they try to be insulting. People can disagree without being insulting with their statements. So Afro Punk Chick, your thoughts are welcome over here. Please don't feel that way. Let me put the sisters up here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Sister McIntosh, she says, free Mello, may all evil be returned to them and the truth continues to come out. The universe will have balance. All right. Good point. Good point. Kitty G, what's going on, Kitty? Says Frisco is not dangerous. You said Frisco is not dangerous. What do you mean by that? Yes. Well, we know it's a suburb, right? So it's supposed to be a nice community, low crime, the whole 9 yards. Is that what you're saying? I get what you're saying there. I understand that. Let me see. John's 36 says the defense and infractions led the foundation for a great appeal. Yeah. The defense, their derelictness, their poor, the way they did a poor job of calling witnesses. You know that one of the witnesses that they called that said some things conflicting against Karmelo Anthony is a witness that they didn't even talk to first. They didn't even prepare them for trial. They just put him up there in the prosecution knew this kid and knew the kid's family and said, hey, I talked to your father just the other night. There was all kind of improper stuff going on in this case. This was a witness that was supposed to be for the defense, and they knew more about the defense's witness than the defense knew because they've been talking to that kid's father by text. Don't tell me that there was no funny business going on in this court case. And you know why that's a fact? I'm not making it up because Court TV reported that because they had people as correspondents in the court to document it that it happened. And they talked about it. I did a video about it. But good point. Good point what you're saying. Because of what they did, their screw-ups, the kids might have a chance to get his sentence reduced. That's a fact. It could happen if if this dream team really goes at the evidence that was at the lack of defense and the inconsistencies and the some of the shenanigans that was going on in that courtroom, if they can shoot at some of that stuff, hopefully this will give them an opportunity. Let me see right here. This case affects all our rights. They're changing the definition of self-defense before our eyes. Yeah, they are. Right before our eyes. I need proper discovery. Show all evidence. Right. Discovery has to be all evidence. Hatchet Dragon says there was a clear conflict. Yeah, there was a conflict. Everybody, I thank you. Afro Punk, everybody in the chat room, thank you very much. $99 Problem says they don't retry the. Yeah, I remember you said that. Definitely. I definitely. Let me see. 99 Problem says baseball signals now. Yeah. Now you're laughing about it. Now, if you're trolling me, you're laughing about it, but it's a fact that was going on because you had people in the courtroom that witnessed it, that had a chance to be in the courtroom. You weren't in the courtroom. So my information doesn't come from something I'm making up. It's coming from the people that were in the courtroom. You see, don't play with me. Don't even come over here and play tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching the program tonight, supporting the program. Let me just read one more here. We got World Connected. No, they're not. What discovery conflicts? What's the discovery conflicts? Well, it's the defense team that screwed this up. They didn't call enough witnesses. I think the prosecution had 21 witnesses and the defense team only called 6 witnesses. That's crazy. They didn't even bring in enough character witnesses. That was terrible. So out of that 21 witnesses, well, look at them. They're in the pool. They're in this pool together right here. And they knew Hunter. There was a relationship, y'all. I'm getting ready to get on out of here. I know it's late for me. It's late for you out there. I appreciate you, everybody in the chat room. Peace and respect. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed, hit the bell notification. Let someone know that you love them as well, that you care about them. We have to also respect those that we care about. And share this video in your social media, all of it. If you are a content creator, share this video in your community tab. Tell someone about the channel, subscribe, share this video, break us through the algorithms. I really appreciate that. You can also find me on other platforms such as TikTok, Facebook as well at Information Man Show. You can find me on Instagram at Information Man Show, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And you can find me on the X platform or on Twitter at Information Man Show. And everybody, make sure that you always check for an uploaded short video, because the shorts that I'm uploading now in my short selection are original shorts that I'm creating from scratch. So usually when you do shorts, you might create a short out of a video that you produced, right? And I can very well do that. But I thought, you know what? Let me cut original shorts, stuff that you have not already seen me do as a live or as an uploaded video. So I feel like the advantage is better for me to cut video on short. These might be subject matters that I haven't had a chance to talk about in long form that I can talk about for 3 minutes and put that on right here on YouTube. I can do a 10-minute video and drop a 10-minute video on TikTok and extend what I'm showing you in the shorts category on this channel. So I just wanted to break that down to you because I'm trying to upload more content and give you more value and everything like that. If you like that, definitely put 7s in the chat room. Tell me about it in the comment section. And you know what? We're going to get ready to get on out of here. Peace. Peace. Thank you for watching, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And peace.
She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, I'll be ready for her. And if it's what you want, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, promise, I'ma give it to you.
Miss that smile, Lord knows I ain't seen that in a while, but it's your style, so something must be up keeping you down. You a queen that must be heaven sent. Pray my soul, I must repent for not telling you what I meant and how I felt. Honestly, I'm used to throwing wishes in a well. My conscience tells me that I could have helped without fail. Actions speak louder than words, and that's a lesson that I learned all by myself.
Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white rose, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, I'll be ready for her. And if it's what you want, I'ma give it to you. Yeah, promise, I'ma give it to you.
Baby, stress is all around us, these high ceilings, and I need it, baby. Pressure and make diamonds, I won't steal it, baby. Silent, baby, hurts to see you crying. I know you trying, ain't no lying, baby. When I say I need you, greedy if I have to share you. It was me that all along did you wrong, thinking that I made you beautiful and strong. This toxicity, the death of me, I fear the day you gone. The most beautiful girl I've ever known.
I'll find a way to treat you better. I swear there's no one out there like you. You teach me to be better. My talk is cheap, keep asking what I do. I'll fly you to the moon. Hope I'll see you soon. I'll find a way to treat you better. No problem, I'll do it. Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white boy, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door,